There's nothing more disappointing than when an anticipated debut turns out to be a huge letdown, and unfortunately, that's exactly the case for some groups in the industry. 2024 saw a lot more unsuccessful debuts than it should have. For example, in May of 2024, BPM Entertainment announced they would be debuting their rookie girl group Bad Villain with the self-titled song Bad Villain in June of 2024. Since the agency is now home to artists like Taemin and Vivi G, it created enough buzz for fans to tune in for the group debut. Unfortunately, they were accused of copying Baby Monster even before setting foot on stage, which soured what was supposed to be an exciting moment for them. A few eagle-eyed netizens noticed that the teaser Bad Villain posted was very similar to the announcement poster that YG shared for Baby Monster back in January of 2023. The BPM and melody used in one of the Bad Villain's teasers also seemed almost identical to Baby Monster's. What's more interesting is that while their debut was meant to be successful, it seemed that it did the actual opposite, and it threw the group into the shadows. Nothing in particular was wrong about the song, but some noticed that something fishy was going on. Within the first 12 hours after the release, the music video amassed over 8 million views, which is very unusual for a fairly unknown group. In comparison, New Jeans, now seen as megastars, pulled in 5 million views within just 12 hours of releasing Bubblegum, which was seen as suspicious. In the 7 days since Bad Villain was released, it earned over 40 million views, which, once again, is something that barely happens to groups who are not promoted well on social media or don't come from relatively known companies. Not to mention, their views don't even match up with their sales or likes. Bad Villain's debut album barely sold more than 2,000 copies, and the music video only had over 160,000 likes at the time it reached 40 million views. If we compare it to New Jeans, Bubblegum had around 1.4 million likes. Many netizens thought that the numbers raked up so high because of ads and that the company was setting up the group for failure by inflating these numbers so soon after their debut. Some people didn't even hear of Bad Villain before an online forum post went viral about the suspicious numbers they were suddenly pulling. Unfortunately, it seems that boosting these numbers with ads didn't really pay off because it's been 5 months since the group's debut, and their numbers are definitely a lot different than what they received for their debut. While it seems like the company just wanted to ensure the girls' debut would go well, it seemingly completely backfired. Discovering the right sound and image takes time, and NMIXX knows this journey all too well. While they have amassed a solid following and dedicated fan base, their debut definitely wasn't smooth sailing. In 2022, before NMIXX debuted, JYP Entertainment promised that the group would bring a new side to K-pop, mixing various music genres to create something new called mix pop. While they indeed brought something new, many netizens didn't think it was necessarily a good new. The group's debut single OO was hit with plagiarism accusations right from the beginning, as some people caught on to the similarities between the music video and ATEEZ's Illusion. While the studio that produced OO previously worked with ATEEZ and was familiar with their pirate concept, it was found out that they in fact did not produce the Illusion music video. Some similarities between music videos are understandable, especially with how many different concepts there are on the market, but netizens still wish that NMIXX's debut was a little more unique. The song itself was called Overwhelming, as people claimed that there were simply too many things going on and too many sounds happening for the track to be enjoyable. However, some fans of the group started to speculate if the negative feedback for NMIXX's debut was an intentional move from JYP in terms of marketing. After all, bad press is still press, so even if the reactions weren't exactly positive, views and streams still increased either way. Many of the group's fans still don't tend to enjoy OO that much, but thankfully their new songs have been receiving a lot more love and positivity. When the Black label announced they would be debuting a new girl group, it was an exciting time for many netizens and Blackpink fans. Since the Black label was founded by the legendary YG Entertainment producer Teddy, the expectations were sky high. Teddy is known for producing a lot of hits in recent years, so netizens naturally thought that his new group's debut would be a success. So after the company introduced Meow in August of 2024, a trendy girl group with members who already had various experiences either with modeling or acting, netizens' anticipation ran wild. Fans were eager to hear the group's sound and style, but it seems they didn't quite deliver on what people were quietly hoping for. Even before their official debut, the group released an a cappella teaser of their debut song Meow, and the feedback was mixed at best. Netizens quickly shared their thoughts about the teaser of what was supposed to be one of the biggest debuts of this year, and let's just say they were not pleased. Many of them thought the members lacked a certain charm that would make the group stand out and would make people interested in getting to know them. The way the girls were styled in the a cappella video wasn't a favorite either, as many netizens wished they would have gone for a darker and edgier concept that would suit them a lot more, rather than the sophisticated and colorful looks in the video, which came off as unauthentic. However, many were still hopeful that when the actual song came out, it would turn out to be a success, but when Meow was officially released on September 6th, 6th, people were let down as the song turned out to be way different than they all thought. Most of the comments were about the song being a little too Teddy, meaning that it was very reminiscent of some of Blackpink's songs with a fast-paced dance break right before the song's end. One netizen wrote, "The song feels like it has been tailored to social media challenges," while another added that it follows the obvious YG formula, which is considered a little too outdated now. The group's first music show performances didn't wow the viewers either. While netizens complimented them for their visuals and their overall stage presence, the performance itself was lackluster and missing something that would intrigue the viewers. One commenter stated that their expectations were high because of Teddy and his reputation in the industry, but that the song turned out to be just meh. Another netizen also shared that they would prefer if the styling was a little bit stronger, since some of the girls seemingly stood out more than other members. On top of the already poor public response to the song, professionals in the music industry didn't spare the group either. IMZ, Korea's top music review magazine, awarded the song with only 1 star. The magazine criticized the repetitive usage of the meow sound, claiming it didn't add any meaning or intention, further diminishing the most important part of the song, the members' voices. IMZ also pointed out that there weren't any key differences between the two verses, which resulted in the song being very forgetful overall. According to the magazine, Gayeon's vocals were the only positive aspect, but this was a double-edged sword. While her voice definitely stood out, Meow just wasn't strong enough to showcase all of the members' strength. While some netizens commented that the song grew on them with time, many of them are still left unfazed and unimpressed. However, when the Meow members did a cover of Psycho by Red Velvet, a lot of people were impressed by their ability to handle the difficult high notes and harmonies, so while their debut might not have been an explosive hit, it's obvious that the girls have great vocal abilities, and it's possible we'll only see them improve in the future. YG Entertainment doesn't seem to have a lot of luck with their girl groups lately because Baby Monster's debut in 2023 was heavily criticized as well. Not to mention, the debut was delayed a number of times, with teasers rolling out in January of 2023 and the music video not being released until November of that year. Because of how the release was postponed a few times and how much hype and excitement there was around it, netizens were rightfully looking forward to it. It's safe to say that these expectations were not met though. As we mentioned before, YG is known for releasing catchy but somehow repetitive songs, and Baby Monster's debut, Batter Up, wasn't spared of the YG formula. Most pointed out that the song ended up being too stereotypical and that the group would have suited a brighter or softer concept a lot more, which would be more suitable for their young age. Besides the generic style of the song, their debut was also met with accusations of cultural appropriation. One of the members, Ruka, was seen wearing a durag in the music video, and Chiquita wore what seemed to be box braids in a bright yellow color, which had their international audience thoroughly disappointed. With all of these unfortunate events happening right after their debut, many netizens debated online if Baby Monster should just re-debut. One user pointed out that the group as a whole was really underwhelming and that YG doesn't seem to realize it's not 2016 when it was possible to just drop music without any additional promotions, obviously hinting at Baby Monster's lack of support from their label when it came to music shows, performances, and other public appearances. Another netizen mentioned how the song practically did nothing for the members as they failed to stand out and apparently looked unremarkable due to the bland styling. While there were definitely a lot of negative reactions, some netizens also saw potential with the group, believing that since the girls are young, there's tons of room for them to improve and try out different styles until they find one that fits them the most.